Shut up, stupid. Play along.
Here in this tiny little microcosm of bullshit.
The Bible has been predicting this the whole time.
You've managed to put together this incredible puzzle. I admire you.
All right, bro. I can't even communicate with you. We're recording right now, so get all your ugly thoughts and feelings out right now. Everything.
Bad thoughts and feelings. I'm not sure how much of it I want captured on audio for posterity.
Well, okay, then in lieu of that, let's talk about other stuff. Pardon me, pardon me while I adjust my kilt, Schuler.
I was going to say, like...
Just my kilt.
I was thinking to myself, should I mention the kilt?
No,
if I had one, I'd wear that shit all the time.
It's what I wear around the house. It's filthy. Focus on death metal, and I hope it all works out.
Death metal and fucking read about vaccine conspiracy theories and shit like that.
Oh boy. Well, okay. Well, I mean, you can always write death metal about vaccine conspiracy theories. I am willing to accept the news if it is presented to me in the form of death metal.
Right? The music that I listen to and collect dominates my life more than my job, more than my studies, more than anything else. I'm married but childless, and that's the plan.
Oh, good plan, bro. Good plan.
I have been in bands, but I've always considered myself to be a writer who's been in bands, and I've never been in death metal bands. I've always been in more like sludge type shit.
What do you perform? Or
I sang.
You don't play any instruments or anything?
No, I have no gift for that.
Well, neither do I, but it hasn't stopped me.
I'm also writing something about Chris Barnes right now.
Oh boy. Oh, now there's a whole thing for us to get into there.
Specifically because the new 6 Feet Under record.
It's fantastic. It's the album of the year.
It's okay. So let's break that down.
Oh God.
I do think it's an album that is so objectively terrible that there's no way you can look at it as a product of this many seasoned hands in the industry and not find some sort of meaningful intentionality behind how fucking terrible it is.
It's very interesting because he's refusing that. When people challenge him on that, he's refusing to say that there's any difference or any meaning that he put in it.
I don't think that he knows enough about what he's doing to say whether he's doing that or not. And that's the thing that sucks about Chris Barnes, and that's the thing that sucks about being a fan of Chris Barnes, because I'm a 6 Feet Under fan, man. I own their entire discography. 6 Feet Under is the first fucking death metal record I ever heard in the basement of a church in El Dorado, Arkansas. I heard fucking Warpath.
Pungent Stench was that band for me. Like, they were so simple and goofy and gross and stuff, and but still had just a few like little things that, and they opened a door to allow me to get into better things. But
all that shit was still hard to find, and I only had semi-competent guides to help me find it. My friend Joseph, he pulls out a copy of fucking Once Upon the Cross.
Oh boy.
looking at the cover, I scared the shit out of me. And we were in a church. I felt like guilty. There was that fear, and there was that little hint of terror, and then underneath it there was an excitement.
Like, I borrowed Butchered at Birth from my friends, and I took it home, and I literally had to hide it from my mom. And it was because I wanted to sit and read all the lyrics, and I did, and just the whole time I was like, what is wrong with this motherfucker?
Open up the Butchered at Birth fucking thing, and you see, like, what is it? It's like a quote from, like,
it's from
Gilles de Rais, or like Albert Fish or somebody, and you're like, this is definitely about murdering children.
And this guy, whoever this guy is, this singer, he's really into it. My mom would get upset that I was listening to Danzig and shit. It's like, you don't understand what's out there. He's dressing it up and making it sexy. There is some shit out there you can't comprehend.
I don't think that kind of transmission of music and of art exists in the same way anymore, and I'm not lamenting that, it's just an observation, but that does take me back to why I do what I do where I do it. I was the country DJ for the weekend at Kicks 103 country radio in El Dorado, Arkansas. And I got in trouble because when I was supposed to be playing church services on Sunday morning, and they'd be listening to fucking Cradle of Filth because the light on the on-air thing on the board was out. And so I made multiple mistakes with that.
Right in 95, right when black metal was hitting America, like for real. I became a black metal maniac for about 2 or 3 years until then, you know, as with most of us, we eventually get tired of black metal on some level, or at least want more interesting black metal. What are your favorites?
I fucking love Old Man's Child. I own their entire discography. Every time there's any news on the Demu Borgir front, I'm like, when is Galder going to have another Old Man's Child record?
And you will have noticed that ever since he joined, that the music in that band has improved significantly.
That Abrahadabra record I thought was fucking terrible. It's bad, man. It's not good. But their last record, Eonian, I liked it, and you could definitely feel a lot more of Galder's presence on it. That Abrahadabra record was not. You couldn't hear him anywhere, man. It was bad. There's no fucking riffs on that record, man.
Yeah, that's a huge weakness.
I cannot riffs.
I will not abide by no riffs.
I always thought that was the stupidest fucking name for a band. I remember thinking, like, Old Man's Child, there's got to be some sort of like satanic context to this or something, but
it is, right?
Yeah.
Born of the Flickering. is an amazing album. Like it's so dark.
Okay, so at this point, I would say that my favorite is Pagan Prosperity.
What?
I think that's dude. Millennium King fucking rips.
I just thought it sounded like what are they using, a drum machine?
And I think when I listen to it now, there's definitely gaps in that sound. Like definitely things could be a lot smoother regarding the balance of the keyboards and the vocals and things like that. But I just thought those songs were so catchy, and I still think that they are. I loved Revelation 666.
Hey, that's the one that was produced by Peter Tagtrin.
I think so.
At Studios. I think it's the only one he did. Yeah.
And it's got like Chodov and Dimu playing drums, and then there's a guy named Grimar also playing drums on there. Listen to the first track on there again, and it's like, in my mind, whenever I hear that song, I see like this fucking swing band of like demons, like playing their fucking horns along to it. Balder played way more of an influential role, I think, in sort of the foundation of what became the main elements of modern death metal that he gets credit for.
I think so too. Yeah, because I always considered Old Man's Child almost kind of straddling death metal and black. Yeah. They're not purists at all. Like
no,
a lot of thrash riffs and stuff too. But one of my absolute favorite black metal anything is their demo, In the Shades of Life.
I have the split version of that with Demi War gear.
I actually spent like fucking $40 or something and got the Hot Records version with the gold inlaid cover art and shit, which was it was put out by Shagrath's label back in the day. Me and my buddies used to go out camping in the woods and bring a boombox and just listen to that shit, like with the fire and the moon. Yes, oh, so good.
And then Theater of Tragedy, Velvet Darkness They Fear. This feels like black metal, but it's like goth.
That's the only stuff of theirs I still like. Is that album I still great? You know, before they and shit. Like,
because I like that album too. It was like Seraphic Deviltry, I think, was the song that I heard first. I really liked it, and then I remember checking them out later on in college when they'd gone to put out subsequent music, and was like, this is not good.
They finally discovered that their singer is hot and just started pushing her. Yeah. Produced by Swano, if I'm not mistaken.
I wouldn't doubt it. A lot of the shit that I've been ordering from overseas, I'm a little bit gun shy to do that right now because of the fucking collapse of the global economy and the mail system. I've had some shit. Long stories would definitely go wrong.
Me too.
Coming from Europe. So one of my, like, what I consider to be my goodwill practice, I still listen to CDs in my car and I still burn them. And I think that there is an art to having that 80-minute limit for a CD, you know, that what can you do within those parameters? And so there's still the return to, especially in the last couple of years, with sort of the elevation of labels like Maggot Stomp. They're a little bit smaller, but that deal specifically in old school death metal. There's still plenty of love for that, right?
As you can see, I'm always looking for the newest and new in death metal, and what the kids are doing is really good these days, and it's so fucking heavy, and the production is amazing now, and there's so many things that are better now than it used to be. There's people that are upset that death metal sounds good now. With that's astounding to me. Like, I understand liking.
Yes, exactly. When I heard Analepsy's, what is it, Abominations from Beyond or whatever?
Yeah, that's insane.
I was like, this
huge.
This is like this is like fucking Chris Lord Alge or somebody produced a slam record. It sounds incredible. It's fucking crisp, it's deep, and these dudes are like, what, 18 years old?
To me, when Cannibal Corpse released Kill, that was the beginning of a new era of death metal that we're in right now.
What a record.
That album, I think, is kind of the first death metal album that deserved like a Grammy for production and shit. I mean, there's
incredible.
Everything since then has had to compete with that album, I feel, including me. Like, that is just so fucking tremendously heavy. The production is different than any death metal album ever.
When you take somebody like Eric Rutan, who has the ear that he has, and you take seasoned, experienced, strong players that have the chemistry like Cannibal Corpse has, Kill fucking waylaid me when it came out.
And I'm not even saying that's my favorite of their, like, I actually think Skeletal Domain is a better album, but it's a little too clean production-wise. But
I think it's a heavier album. I think it's a darker album.
And I mean, in terms of the writing and everything, it's just so fucking advanced. I try to just show it to people as if it's classical music. Like, it sounds like a bunch of mess, but you don't understand. Listen to what they're playing. Yeah. This is some of the hardest stuff in the universe to play. Okay.
Well, and it's sprezzatura, right? Like, they make this shit look easy.
Yeah.
Like, if you see Cannibal Corpse, you don't see somebody up there who's struggling to fucking keep up. That's what you see if you see 6 Feet Under.
Yeah.
If you see Cannibal Corpse playing now. The one that I always go back to is the studio video of Cannibal when Pat O'Brien is playing Frantic Disembowelment.
Oh, the hardest song in the universe, you mean? Yeah. I've tried to learn that riff. By the way,
it's insane to watch.
And I tried for a month to play just that riff, and I could not come the fuck close for a month. And that's why I'm saying it's like, this is like classical music. This is on the same level of difficulty as playing something
It is. Of course it is. And I think that part of, like, you know, the fact that it's sort of couched in this macabre imagery, and the fact that for whatever reason it's been sort of for a number of obvious reasons that it's been sort of maligned or misaligned by popular culture.
I think part of what you're talking about, it being maligned, is because of a history of inappropriate or bad production in early years. When that shit came out, I literally couldn't hear what was being played. It was just
nobody knew what to do with it. Like, Cannibal Corpse is that's my gospel, man.
In terms of death metal?
Band, yes. No, in terms of any band. Like,
oh, wow. Holy shit.
They're probably my favorite band of all time. I love the notion of talking about this kind of stuff and having these conversations about extreme music, and then being able to make a turn in that conversation and be like, you've been talking about like nerdy academic shit for the last hour and you thought you were talking about brutal shit. Mm-hmm. Welcome to fucking nerddom. Like, now you know where you are.
Well, I am about to hit the latrine here. I am presuming you don't want to come in there with me.
No, I'm going to pass, but I do appreciate the somewhat similar semi-offer that you have presented for me.
Thank you for the talk, man. This has been great. I just thought we were going to hop on, have a tech demo, and fuck off.
I did too, but this turned out to be a nice little Saturday.
All right, sir. Well, again, it's a pleasure. I'll see you on Twitter.
And thank you for putting up with all my bullshit, and I am sorry for taking advantage of your generosity.
I want to be your love angel. And he's